Hello, friends. So, this weekend is a great opportunity to take these videos and study. I am going to go over the test review. I'm also going to go over another test review that I did if you have math enrichment. Okay, if you don't, you can also use it to help you. But here, let's go ahead and go over these questions. I'm going to start with number 1. Okay, so there's a couple of ways that you can do this. I'm going to show you the easiest way that I can think of, okay, which would be to start with 2 rectangles and a triangle, okay. Now the rectangles, let me change the color of this first. Now the rectangles, we're going to use the formula area equals base times height. And if I look at just, it's hard to cover up because I'm on my iPad, but here, if I just look at that rectangle, the length and the base of that is going to be 3 by 5. So I'm going to multiply 3 times 5, and that is going to give me 15. Okay, that means this one is 15. All right, now let's do the other rectangle. Again, remember it is going to be area is equal to base times height. And if I look at this one, I have the base and the height here. That is going to be 4 times 10, which is going to give me 40. That means this rectangle has an area of 40 units squared. Now the only thing that we have to do is find the triangle, which is going to be 1/2 base times height. Okay, now here's where you have to go back and you have to look at the lengths of the rectangles to figure out what the length is going to be for the triangle. Okay, so if this is 4, this is also going to be 4. Okay, and let me see if I can find another color. Okay, if this is 3, this is also going to be 3. So now that I have the height and the base, I can continue substituting for the formula. So the base of the triangle is 4, the height is 3. I know that 4 times 3 is 12, and then I know that half of 12 is going to be 6. So that means that the triangle has an area of 6 units squared. Now, what do I do with all of these 3 numbers? Well, I'm going to add them. So 40 plus 15 plus 6. 5 plus 6 is going to be 11. 4, 5, 6. So that means I'm going to have 61 units squared. This is our final answer for number 1. Okay, here, let's look at number 2. And again, the first thing that I want to look at is I want to look at all of the lengths, okay? So here I know that if this side is 3, this side over here is going to be 3 as well. Okay, so here, not 3, excuse me, if this side over here is 9, this side is also going to be 9. But here, what I have to make sure that I understand is that I am missing this length right here. I need to figure out what this part is. So what I do is I take 9 and I subtract 3 from it. And that is going to give me 6. So right here is 6. Now I have the base of the triangle and I have the height. And I have the height of the rectangle and the base of the rectangle. So let's go ahead and get started in solving. So first we're going to start off with the rectangle. Remember that is going to be area is equal to base times height. Base is 4, height is 9, and 9 times 4 is going to be 36. So that means that this is 36 centimeters squared. That is the area of the rectangle. Now let's find the area of the triangle. And that is going to be found by using the formula 1/2 base times height. Base is 5 and the height is 6. Now I know that 5 times 6 is 30. And then half of 30, I'm going to have to move it over here on this side. Half of 30 is going to be 15. So that means that this triangle has an area of 15 centimeters squared. Now, what do I do with both of these? All I'm going to do is I'm going to take 36 plus 15. Here is the reason why we are adding them, because they are composite figures. Remember, composite figures are going to usually have the same color. They're going to be shaded the same. They're either all shaded or none of them are shaded. So that means you're going to add them. Okay, 6 plus 5 is 1, 3, 4, 5. So this would be 51 centimeters squared. That is our final answer. Excuse me. Okay, let's look at number 3. Take a moment to pause if you need to get this down or study it. And let's go to number 3. So number 3, a couple of things that I want to do first. Okay, I want to make sure that I have all of my links that I need. Okay, so what I see here is that this is 10, which means that this is going to be 10. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write 10 inches here. Now, if I cover up or if I pretend that the circle's not there, what I have is a triangle with a base of 10 and a height of 11. Now remember, you'll know that the height for the triangle is the height because if you trace the dotted line and the right angle, you make an H. Okay, so let's continue to solving. We're going to solve the triangle first. Okay, so the triangle has an area, a formula of 1/2 base times height. The base of it is 10 and the height is 11. I know that 10 times 11 is going to be, if I do that real quick, it is going to be 110, okay? I am going to erase this though so that I don't run out of space. Okay, 110. And then here what I have to do is I have to divide 110 divided by 2. 2 can go into 11 5 times. That will be 10. Bring down that 0. And then it'll be 5 again. So 55 inches squared. That is what the area of the triangle is. 55 inches squared. Okay. Now we have to go and we have to do the rectangle or the semicircle. So here I'm going to do the semicircle right here. Now remember the semicircle, you're still using pi r squared, but because it's only half a circle, you're going to have 1/2 in front of it, which means that you are finding the area of a full circle and then dividing by 2 at the end. So here 1/2 pi is 3. Radius, now remember, what we need to go back and look at is what does the 10 represent for the semicircle? Well, it's the diameter, okay? So the diameter is 10, and remember, radius is half of the diameter, so that means we are going to be using 5, and that's going to be 5 squared. Now, 5 squared means 5 times 5, not 5 times 2, so that would be 5 times 5, which is going to be 25. Okay, then I have to multiply 25 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now, I'm going to take this moment because we are working with pi, finding the area of circles, that pi is not 3. It is 3.14. Okay, however, in class we do use the estimate method of using 3. When you pick your answer, you're going to make sure you pick the closest one. Okay, if you don't feel comfortable using 3 and knowing if you're going to pick the right answer, use 3.14. Okay, and in a second I will show you what that will be too, so that way you don't feel like you're lost or you can't keep up. Okay, so here I'm going to go ahead and take out my calculator so that I can tell you what it's going to be if you use 3.14. Okay, now I'm going to continue with this. I know that 3 times 25 is going to be 75. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide 75 divided by 2. 2 can go into 7 3 times. That'll be 6. And then it can go into 15 7 times, which will be 14. Subtract that. Bring down the 10. Add a decimal. 2 can go into 10 5 times. So my answer would be 37.5 inches squared. Okay. That means that the circle is 37.5, the semicircle, okay? Now, what we do with these two is we add them. So 55.0 plus 37.5. 7 plus 5 is going to be 12. And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we get an answer of 92 inches squared as our final answer, okay? Now, if you use 3.14, you are still going to have 5 squared. That doesn't change. The only thing that changes is this. So you're still going to have 25, but you're going to multiply 25 times 3.14, which is going to give you, instead of 75, is going to give you 78.5, okay? Then when you divide by 2, that is going to give you 39.25 inches squared. Okay? So, what happens whenever you add 55 to that? Your actual answer is going to be 94.25 inches squared. Okay? If you use 3.14. Okay? So, I'm going to write that over here in purple. If you use 3.14, your answer is, if I can spell this, 94.25 inches squared. Okay. All right, let's continue on to number 4. Now, for number 4, I'm not going to use 3. I'm going to use the actual answer. Pause if you need to, and then move to number 4. Okay, I'm going to use the actual 3.14 for this one. So let's look at first at all of our lengths, okay? If this is 32, this up here is going to be 32, okay? And if this, excuse me, if this is 20 feet, this is going to be 20 feet. Okay, now what we have to understand about the 20 feet is what it represents for the semicircle, okay? Now, I know that if it is going from edge to edge of the circle, then it is the diameter, which is 20 feet, but we need radius, and radius is half of the diameter, so that is going to be 10, okay? So now that we have everything we need, we can go ahead and start solving this. So looking for the area of a rectangle, that is going to be area is equal to base times height. Base is 32 and height is 20. So 32 times 20, 0, 0, 0 again. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. That means it is going to be 640 for the rectangle alone, okay? Now, we still have to find the semicircle. So let's work on that. Area is equal to 1/2 pi r squared. Pi, we are going to use 3.14 this time to get the exact answer. And then radius is 10, not 20, but 10, okay? And that would be 10 squared. Okay, so here I know that 10 squared means 10 times 10, which is going to be 100. So area is equal to 1/2 times 3.14 times 100. I'm going to move this over here. Okay, so here I know that 100 times 3.14, that is going to be I think I went to, no, that's correct. So here it'll be this. It'll be 314. Okay. I'm going to erase that so that I don't run out of space. Okay, so here, area is equal to 1/2 times 314. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 2. Okay, so 2 can go into 3 one time. We subtract. 2 can go into 11 5 times. That'll be 10. Subtract. And then 2 can go into 14 7 times. So that means we get an answer of 157 for the semicircle. Okay. Now, what do we do with 640 and 157 feet squared? Well, we are going to add them. So I'm going to do this in red. Okay, I'm going to do it up here. So 157 plus 640. 7, 5 plus 4 is going to be 967. So we get an answer of 797 feet squared. This is our final answer for number 4. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on to number 5 and number 6. Now, I want to quickly come back up here and talk about 1 through 4. 1 through 4 were composite figures. They were all the same shade. They were either not shaded in or they were shaded in, and you have to add them. So now, if we go to number 5 and number 6, they look different than the ones that we just did. These are shaded regions. We have a shaded figure and a not shaded figure. So what we have to do is we have to subtract. So let's look at number 5 first. Number 5, some questions like this you'll have to read. Make sure you read the question if there's something on there. It says that the figure shown is composed of a square inside of a circle. The radius of the circle is 8 centimeters. So radius is 8. Why did I write 5? Okay, determine the area of the shaded region in square centimeters. So here, first thing is first, let's find the area of the circle. A equals pi r squared for a circle. Remember, these formulas, you do not have to remember them or memorize them, but you do have to pick up that yellow laminated formula chart so that you can work these questions out. Okay, all right. I'm going to use 3.14 for pi times radius. I know that radius is 8 squared, okay? And here, I know that 8 squared means 8 times 8, and 8 times 8 is 64, so I'm going to write that down. And then all I want to do over here is do 3.14 times 64. 4 times 4 is 16, 4, 5, 3 times 4 is 12, add a 0 there. 6 times 4 is 24 again. 6 times 1 is 6, 7, 8. 6 times 3 is 18. Now I can add 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, and then 2. So we get 200.96. If you used 64 times 3 alone, you would have gotten 192. And I believe I talked about this in class, but here you get 192 if you only use 3. So your answer would be a little bit higher than this, right? Okay, so then let's look at the rectangle. Okay, so the rectangle, the formula is area is equal to base times height. Okay, base is 5 if I'm looking at this, okay, and the height is 5. All right, so 5 times 5 is 25. I know that it's saying 5 times 5 is a rectangle inside, but what did it say up here too? I said rectangle because it looks like a rectangle, but it's a square. You have all these sides looking the same, okay? So 5 here, it's a square. All right, let's continue. So let me write my units first. Now, what we do with these two is we are going to subtract. So 200.96 minus 25.00. Okay, 6 gets brought down, 9 gets brought down. Cannot do 0 minus 5, so we're going to have to borrow. 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 2 is 7, and then we get 175 centimeters squared for our final answer. Okay, now if you use 3, remember if you use the estimate of 3, you're going to get 192 for the circle. Okay, and then you're going to subtract 25. So what you get is 167. Okay, so that means when you go to look at your multiple answer choices, you are going to pick the one that's a little bit higher. Okay, all right, let's go into number 6. Now, number 6 is similar to a question that you will have on the test. Okay, I really want you to pay attention to this one. Y'all have a stove in your house. Everyone has a stove in their house, right? You have a square, which is the black part or the gray part. I don't know what color your stove is going to be, right? And then you have the burners. There's 4 burners, okay? Same concept that you're about to do. You're going to see one that's a rectangle, looks like a stove, has 4 burners on it, okay? If you can do this question, you will do amazing on that question on the test, okay? So let's talk about this, all right? You have a rectangle, okay? That rectangle's formula is going to be area equals base times height. Now, if I look at the rectangle, I see that it's 56 by 14. Those are the 2 numbers that I'm going to multiply. So 56 times 14, okay? I'm going to multiply this over here on the side. 6 times 4 is 24, 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22, 0 here, 6, and then 5, so I get 4, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7. So the rectangle that we have has an area of 784 centimeters squared, okay? Now, here we have to find the area of the circle, okay? Now, there's 4 circles, but I'm only going to find one. And what I want you to pay attention is this part right here, okay? What I see here is a quarter circle. Now, from center to edge, that's radius. So the 7 is actually your radius, okay? So area is equal to pi r squared. We're going to use 3.14 for pi today. And then radius, we're going to use 7 squared, okay? I know that 7 squared means 7 times 7. And I know that 7 times 7 is going to be 49, okay? Now, all I have to do is 3.14 times 49. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 1 is 9. 10, 11, 12. Yes. Okay. And then 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28. Add a 0. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 3 times 4 is 12. So we add this, 6, 7, 8. 13 is 8 plus 5. And then 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. All right, there we go. Our answer is going to be 153.86 centimeters squared. That is one circle. So one circle is going to be this. But that means all of them are 153.66, like each one of these, okay? Now, we can either add up all of this. Hold on, let me erase this and rewrite it. Okay, we can either add up all 153.86 4 times, or we can take 153.86 and multiply it by 4 to find the area of all 4 put together, okay? And honestly, this is what I would do. 6 times 4 is 24. 8 times 4 is going to be 32, plus 2 is 34. 3 times 4 is 12. 13, 14, 15. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. 4 times 1 is 4, 5, 6. So we get 615.44. Now, what do I do with both of these areas? We are going to subtract them. Okay, so over here, I'm going to take 784.00 minus 615.44. Okay, so we can't do 0 minus 4, so we're going to have to borrow over here. Okay, 10 minus 4 is going to be 6. 9 minus 4 is going to be 5. 3 minus 5 cannot do, so we have to borrow again. And now we have 13 minus 5, and that is going to be 8. 7 minus 1 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. So we get 168.56 centimeters squared as our final answer. Okay? So, if you would have used 3 for pi, then your answer would have been, you would have used 3. So remember, you're still using 49, but you're going to change this to 3. So that would have been 49 times 3, okay? That would have been 147, okay? So you would have had you would have had 784 minus 147, which would have been, hold on. Okay, so it would have been 637, around there, okay? I lied. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to take 147 times 4. Okay, when I multiply 147 times 4, that gives me 588. Now when I subtract that, this is if we're using pi, okay, 784 minus 588, we get 196. I know it's so small to see. Let me see if I can rewrite it. 196 centimeters squared. Okay, this is if you use pi being 3. Okay, this one's a little bit more weird, but that is going to be because if you look here, I want to talk about this, okay? If you look here, we get 588, but over here we got 614, because this circle is the only thing that is going to give you, this is the only part where we're using 3.14 or 3. So this one is actually going to be a little bit higher. Like the actual is going to be a little bit higher than using 3, okay? So here you're subtracting a little less versus over here when you do the actual 3.14. Does that make sense? I hope it does, okay? So here I know I always talk about you're going to pick the one that's a little bit higher. But here, remember, you're subtracting a little bit less. So that means your answer, your final answer is going to be a little bit less instead of a little bit higher. That's only because you're subtracting, okay? If you're adding, it's different. But this is because we are subtracting. Okay, go to the next page. So here, pause if you need to, and then go to the next page. Sorry, guys. All right, let's come over here. So here we have a square pyramid, okay? The first thing that I recommend doing is making sure you know all of the information. I know that this is a square, and a square is going to be area is equal to base times height. I need a base and a height. And here I have base, I have height, okay? And then for a triangle, I'm going to use A equals 1/2 base times height. And again, I know the base of the triangle, and I know the height of the triangle, okay? So we have all the things that we need. We're going to go ahead and solve. So area is equal to base times height. Base of the square is 6. Height is 6. That means we're going to have 36 for the square, okay? And this is yards squared. Now let's look at the triangle. So again, 1/2 I know the base is 6 and the height is 8. I know that 6 times 8 is going to be 48. And I know that half of 48 is going to be 24 yards squared, okay? What that means for us is that this is 24, this is going to be 24, this triangle is 24, and this triangle is 24, okay? So you can do this one of two ways. You can either add up every single area, okay, where you are doing 36 plus 24 plus 24 plus 24 plus 24. You add up all of that, or you can take 24 times 4 and then add whatever you get there to 36, okay? And you would get your final answer. If you add all of them up together, it would be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold on. Let's try that again. 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh, hello. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There we go. That's much better because that is the answer. All right, so we would get 132 yards squared if you're adding it all together. If you don't want to add it all together, remember you can take 24, multiply it by 4 because there are 4 24s, okay? So 4 times 4 is 16, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 96. And then you add up 96 plus 36. 6 plus 6 is 12, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you still get 132 yards squared as your final answer. Okay. This is not a pretty red color. Let me see if I can find another one. Let's try this one. Did it change? No. There we go. All right, so that is your final answer. All right, pause if you need to, and then let's go to 8. All right, so here on number 8, first thing that you want to do with a prism or any net that looks like this, the first thing that you want to do is find all of your lengths, okay? So let's take a look at this. If this is 12, all of these that are parallel to it will also be 12. I'm going to do this in purple so that y'all can see. 12 here, 12 here, 12 here, okay? Now, if this one is 8, this one right here is also going to be 8, okay? Now, here is where it gets a little tiny bit tricky because if I am looking at, let me use a green color, this one, that's not what I wanted. I wanted the highlighter. Okay, if I'm looking at this one, when I fold this net together, when I bring up this piece to fold it, and I bring this piece to fold it up, okay, that means these two are going to touch. Oh, hello, I wanted the highlighter. Right here. They're going to touch. Same thing over here. They're going to touch, okay? So what that means is that if this length is 9 and it's going to touch and it's going to be exactly flush, then this is going to be 9. I did not want green. 9. Okay, now parallel sides are going to be the same, so that means this is 9. Touching sides will be the same. That will be 9. Okay, I almost have everything. Let's take a look over here at one more. Let's do this one here. Okay, if this, I want the highlighter. I keep forgetting. I keep using the wrong tool. Okay, highlighter. If this is 12, this is also 12. Okay, so here, 12 right here. Okay, now we have everything that we need. Now, I suggest you cover it up on the test either with your hand or you can ask me for an index card. Okay, but we're looking just at this one right here. That is going to be 12 times 9. Okay. Now, I know that for the rectangles, I am going to be using area is equal to base times height. I'm going to multiply the two lengths that I find on it. Okay. For a triangle, I am going to use area is equal to 1/2 base times height. Okay. All right, so let's continue. We're going to go ahead and look at this middle one here. And if I look, it is 12 times 8. So I'm going to write 12 times 8. Okay, and then finally, the last rectangle is a 12. It's actually a square. It's going to be 12 times 12. Okay, so here, let's multiply those. Okay, so 12 times 9, that's going to be 18. 9 plus 1 is 10, so that means this is 108. Okay, let's do 12 times 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 plus 1 is 96. This one in the middle is 96. And now let's do 12 times 12. That is going to be 144. So this one here is 144. All right, now what's left is to find the triangle. Okay, now when I do the formula, I'm going to find the area of one triangle. Once I find the area of this triangle, I have also found this one because they are identical. Okay, so 1/2 base of the triangle is going to be 8 and height is going to be 9. Okay, now I know that 8 times 9 is 72. Okay, and now all I have to do is take 72 and divide it by 2. 2 can go into 7 3 times. That'll be 6. And then it can go into 12 6 times. So my final answer for one triangle is 36 inches squared. Okay, so this is 36 and this is 36. Now, what do I do with all the areas that I just found? All the areas that I circled. I'm going to add up each and every single one of these. So 144 plus 108 plus 96. Now here's the thing. I have a 36 here and I have a 36 here. Remember that we got that from dividing 72 divided by 2. So technically when I add 36 plus 36, I'm going to get 72. So I'm just going to use that. Okay. All right. Now 4 plus 6 is 10. Plus 8 is 18. 19, 20. So here's 20. All right. And then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 plus 9 is 22. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So our final answer for this one is going to be 420 inches squared. Okay. All right. Take a moment to pause. Look back at it, make sure that you understand it, and then move on to the next question. All right, let's take a look at this one. This one talks about lateral surface area, okay? It's important to take note of that, and it's also important to understand that lateral surface area is the faces only, okay? So let's take a look at what the faces are. The faces are going to be the outside, the ones that are going to make the pyramid part, okay? The green that I have shaded in green, that's the base, okay? So when we find our final answer, it's going to be everything but the base, which is in green, okay? Now let's take a look. What we are going to do is we're going to find the formula, which is going to be 1/2 base times height, okay? And let's take a look at what we have. So if I'm looking at the triangle, I see that it has 6 right here. That is the base, okay? And the height, if I follow this, okay, I have an upside down H. That means that the height is also 6. So here, 1/2 times 6 times 6, which is 36. And then here, I have to take 36 and I have to divide it by 2. 2 can go into 3 one time. and then it can go into 16 8 times. So my final answer for one triangle is 18 units squared. Okay, this isn't my final answer. All this is telling me is that each one of these is 18. Now remember, I only want the faces, which is the outside, what surrounds the base, okay? Everything but the base. So here you can do 18 plus 18. Let me do this in red. I can do 18 plus 18 plus 18, or I can do 18 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3, 4, 5. So we would have 54 units squared. That would be our final answer. If you add it, you're going to get the same answer. I would just multiply, okay? All right, pause if you need to, and then go to number 10. So number 10, the reason why these have been so difficult have been because if you don't see a side, you're not sure what you're going to multiply by. So the first thing that you want to make sure you do is that you find all of the lengths. So if this one right here is 10, all of them that are parallel to it will also be 10. So here, this is 10, this is 10, this is 10, and this is 10, okay? Now, if this and this touch, they're both 5, right? And also, if this one over here is 5, then this one has to be 5, which means this one will also be 5. So here, 5 here, 5 here. And again, parallel side, that means this one's also 5. This one will also be 5 because it's going to touch. So 5 and 5, okay? Now, if this one, oops, this is what I meant to do. If this one is 2, all of these that are parallel will be 2, okay? So 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, okay? Let's continue looking at all of them and make sure that we have all of them, okay? I see that this is a 10 by 5. Okay, cool. This is a 2 by 5. This one is a 2 by 5 because technically this is 5 right here, okay? This is a 10 by 2. This one is a 10 by 5. The only one that's maybe missing a side is this last one. So let's talk about how to find that, okay? I know that I've shown you in class the little figures that you can fold and unfold, okay? But here's the thing, okay? This one, when you fold it, is going to be parallel to this one. And this one right here is going to be parallel to this one, okay? So that means that this length right here is going to be the same length as this right here, which is going to be 2, okay? So 2 is right here, 2 is right here. Now we have found everything. Let's go ahead and start solving, okay? Remember, the formula for a rectangle is going to be area is equal to base times height, okay? So that means that this one right here, again, we've said it before, it's going to be 10 times 5, which is going to be 50, okay? This one that follows is going to be 10 times 2, so that is 20, okay? This one is another 10 by 5, which means that's going to be 50, and again, remember, it's going to be parallel to this one right here, okay? The next one is going to be parallel to the one that we've already found, which is 20, okay? Now let's look at the bases. We have 2 times 5, if I can spell. All right, 2 times 5, which is going to be 10, which means this one is also 10. Now, what do I do with all of these? I just add. So 50 plus 50 plus 20 plus 20 plus 10 plus 10. Okay, so 0 here, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we would have an answer of 160 feet squared for the total surface area of this rectangular prism. Okay, all right. Pause, take a moment, refresh your memory on how to find the length of each side so that you know what you're multiplying for each shape, okay? All right, let's continue on to number 11. Number 11 is a square pyramid. Now remember, this one's asking us for total surface area. This right here is a square, which means that every side is going to be 8, okay? Now, let's go ahead and see if we can find any other information, okay? On the triangle, I know that this is the base, which is going to be 8. And if I look here, this has a dotted line, and I know that there is a right angle there. So that is the height of the triangle. All right, so let's continue. The first thing I want to find is the rectangle. Remember, that is going to be, not rectangle, it's a square. Let me write square, okay? Square. But a square is also the same thing as the rectangle as a parallelogram, okay? So here, we're going to use area is equal to base times height. Base is 8, height is 8. 8 times 8 is 64, okay? And this is inches squared. All right. Now, let's find the area of a triangle. Here, that is going to be 1/2 base times height. Okay, now the base is 8 and the height is 6.2. Okay, so that means we have to come over here and we have to multiply 6.2 times 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 1 is 49, so we get 49.6. So area is equal to 1/2 times 49.6. Okay, so here, what we have to do next is we have to divide 49.6 divided by 2. I'm going to do this over here. 49.6 divided by 2, 2 can go into 4 2 times. It can go into 9 4 times, that will be 8. We subtract, we get 1. Bring down the 6, we have 16. 2 can go into 16, 8. So it would be area equals 24.8 inches squared, okay? Now, that is just one. One of these is going to be 24.8. But we need all of them because remember we want total surface area. So you can either add up all of them or you can say, I'm going to multiply that by 4. I'm going to make my life easier. Okay, 8 times 4 is going to be 32. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 3, 17, 18, 19. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So we get 99.2, okay, inches squared for all 4 triangles. Now, what do we do with both of these two areas? We are going to take 99.2 and add that to 64.0. 2 here, 10, 9, 10, 13 here. 9 plus 1 is 10, 16. So we get an answer of 163.2 inches squared as our final answer. Okay. All right. Let's go to number 12. Okay. Pause if you need to. Okay. So here we have a shaded region, which means we are going to find the area of the bigger rectangle first and then find the area of the parallelogram. So rectangle is going to be area equals base times height. The base of the rectangle is 10. The height is 12. That is going to be 120 inches squared. Okay. Now let's find the area of a parallelogram. It's going to be the same formula. Area equals base times height. Okay. The base is going to be 8. And the height, if we follow this, if we trace it, we make it H. That is going to be 4. Okay. And again, 8 times 4 is 32. So we have 32 inches squared. There we go. Now, what we do with both of these is we are going to subtract, not add. And we are subtracting because we have two different shaded figures, okay? So here 10 minus 2 would be 8. 11 minus 3 is going to be 88. So that means we have a final answer of 88 inches squared, okay? Pause if you have to. Try to get this as much done as you need to. Study it, practice it, okay? Let's go to number 13, okay? Let me see how many, this is the last page. All right, let's go to number 13, okay? So number 13, we're finding the total surface area. The first thing that I want to do is make sure that I have all of the lengths. So if this is 5, all of these that are parallel will also be 5. So 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, okay? Now, if this is 17, this is also going to be 17. Okay. Now, here we have to go through and we have to look at the triangle side. So like if this is 8, that means this will also be 8, which means this will also be 8, and this will also be 8. Okay. Now, on the other side, this is 15. This will also be 15, which means this will be 15, which means this will be 15. Okay, so let's write that down. 8 here, 8 here, 8 here, 15 here, 15 here, 15 here. Okay, now let's go back and let's first deal with the rectangles. Remember, the formula for finding a rectangle is base times height. So if we're looking at the first one, that is going to be 8 times 5. And I know that 8 times 5 is 40. So this one is going to be 40 centimeters squared. Okay. All right. Now let's take a look at the middle one. That is a 15 by 7, or 5 by 17, excuse me. So 17 times 5. 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 1 is 5. 6, 7, 8. So this one in the middle is 85 centimeters squared. Okay. Now looking at the last one, the last rectangle, we have 5 by 15. So 15 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5, 6, 7. This is 75 centimeters squared. Now all we have to do is find the area of the triangle by doing area equals 1/2 base times height. Okay. Now you may have to look at this. You may have to move it, but I want to take all that off, okay? I just want to look at this part, okay? The 8 is going to be your base. The height is going to be 15, okay? So here, area is equal to 1/2 times 8 times 15. We don't need 17, okay? And the reason being is because here is your right angle, okay? And the for right triangle is going to be base here, height here, okay? All right, so 15 times 8.
15 times 8 is 120.
Thanks, Alexa. Yeah, that's too funny. Okay, she's right though. Okay, so here it happens in class, it happens here at home. All right, so 120. Now we're going to take 120, we're going to divide it by 2. 2 can go into 12 6 times. That still has me laughing. Oh my goodness. Okay, and that means we're going to have areas equal to 60 centimeters squared, okay? That means this one's 60 centimeters squared. This one is 60 centimeters squared. Okay, now what do we do with all of these areas? Well, we're going to add. So over here on the side, I'm going to add 60 plus 60, which I already know is 120, plus 40, plus 85, plus 75. So 5 plus 5 is 10. Here I'm going to have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 plus 7 is going to be 22. Then 2 plus the 1 is 320. I'm going to check this again because I was distracted with Siri, with the other one, not even Siri. That's Alexa. Okay, plus 85 plus 75, it is 320. So my final answer is 320 centimeters squared. Okay, cool. All right, let's go to 14. Oh no, what happened? There it is. Let's go to 14, pause if you have to. This one we've seen before. We have seen this so many times already. Y'all are probably tired of it. If this is 6, all of these that are parallel are going to be 6. Okay? So 6 here, 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 and here. Okay? If this is 4, all the ones that are parallel are going to be 4. So 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. Okay? Now, if this is 4, if this one is 4, this one is also 4. And remember, I want to go back and I want to check out the ones that are touching. Okay, so if this is 9, it's touching this one is going to be 9. Also, if this is 9, the parallel side will be 9 and the touching side will be 9. Okay. Again, parallel here, that means this is 9 and this is 9 because they are touching. This is 9 because we've already established that this is the parallel side, which means these two are touching, so they're going to be 9. This one's 9, okay? And then this one is also going to be 9 because it's touching that one right there, okay? 9 here, 9 here. We have all the sides we need. So now let's go ahead and take a look at solving this. Remember, for a rectangle, it is going to be area is equal to base times height. So here, looking at this first one, that is going to be 6 times 4, okay, which is going to be 24. All right, now if I look through, I see that this is a 9 times 6, and this is a 4 times 6. So here I have another 24 because I've already solved that up there at the top, right? Now 9 times 6 is the middle one, okay, and 9 times 6 is 54, okay? And if this one is 9 times 6, which equals 54, this one down here, which is also 9 times 6, will also be 54, okay? Now, all I have to find is this one right here, which is 9 times 4. That is going to be 36, because 9 times 4 equals 36. Okay, so now that we have found all of these, all we have to do is add them, okay? 54 plus 54 plus 24 plus 24 plus 36 plus 36, okay? Can you take 24 plus 24 and like add them together? Like, can you multiply 24 times 2, 54 times 2, and 36 by 2, and then add them all together? Absolutely. Okay, but I have found step by step, taking it slow, simplest is going to be easiest for all of us to understand. Okay, so 6 plus 6 is 12. Okay, plus, let me see, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so plus 16, that is going to be 28. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So this question has this rectangular prism has an area, total surface area, of 228 inches squared. Okay. All right, pause if you need to. Let's go ahead and move forward to number 15. Again, I don't like this one here. I'm going to tell you why. Do you see this right here? Do you see this right here? That's not... It's not going to work. Let me tell you why. Okay. If this is 7, all of these are going to be 7, right? Okay. So 7 here. 7 here. 7 here. 7 here. Okay, cool. All right, now if this is 10, all of these are going to be 10. So 10 here, 10 here, 10 here. Okay, cool. Now, if this is 2, this is going to be 2. And remember, touching side is going to be 2. Parallel side is going to be 2. Touching side is going to be 2. Parallel side is going to be 2. Okay? So 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. Stick with me, okay? All right. Now remember, we talked about parallel sides when we fold this together. So if we were to fold it, I wish I was at my desk showing you this with the little foldable thing. But if we fold this up, this is going to be standing. This is going to be like the wall, okay? This one is going to be sitting right on top of this one, okay? Which means this has to be 10. This has to be 10. Now, what's going to happen with this one? Well, this one is going to be sitting, again, remember, when you fold it, it's going to be parallel to this one. This is not 4, this is 2. Okay, so cross that out. That is 2. This is 2. This is 10. This is 10. I don't know what happened there. But anyways, let's continue. So remember, formula for a rectangle is going to be base times height. So here, looking at this top one, we are going to be multiplying 10 times 2. 2 times 10 is going to be 20. And remember, this one matches this one over here. So we have these two. Okay. This one right here is going to be 10 times 7. So 10 times 7, that is going to be 70. Okay. It matches this one over here. The little itty bitty skinny rectangle, that is 2 times 7, which is going to be 14. And that means this one is also 14. Okay. Now we can add up all of these together. So here, 70 plus 70 plus 20 plus 20 plus 14 plus 14. 4 plus 4 is 8. 7 plus 7 is 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we get 208 units squared. Okay, let's move forward. All right, we're out of the prisms and pyramids for right now. Let's go to number 16, which is a shaded region question, okay? So first of all, let's make sure that we understand that this is a square, so all sides are going to be 6. So what we're going to do is do area equals base times height, okay? That'll be 6 times 6, okay? Now, I want to come over here and I want to look at this. This right here is telling me that from here to here, edge to edge of the circle, that is 14. That means that is diameter. So diameter is 14, and we know that radius is half of 14, so radius is 7, okay? Now we can take the circle and we can take the formula for circle, which is pi r squared, and plug in or substitute our values. So pi, we're going to use 3.14 times radius, which is going to be 7 squared, okay? Actually, let's use 3 just to estimate, okay? No, we're going to use 3.14, just kidding. Okay, 3.14, 7 times 7 is going to be 49. So let's do 3.14 times 49. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 1 is 9. 10, 11, 12. 3 times 9 is 27, excuse me. Plus 1 is 28. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. We add that, we get 6 here. 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. 5, we get 153.86. Okay, that is the area of the circle, and it would be feet squared. The area of the square is going to be 36 feet squared. Now, what do we do with these two areas? We are going to subtract them. So here, we are going to take 153.86 minus 36.00. 6 gets brought down, 8 gets brought down, 3 minus 6 cannot happen, we have to borrow. 13 minus 6 is going to be 7, 4 minus 3 is 1, 1 gets brought down. So we get 117.86 feet squared as our final answer, okay? All right. Okay, so then here, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. All right, the next two, and I think it's our last two, are composites. They're both the same color, okay? So we're going to add them. We're going to find their areas and then add them, okay? So here we have a triangle, which is going to be 1/2 base times height. Base of the triangle is 6. Height of the triangle is 4. 6 times 4 is 24. And then half of 24 is 12. So that means this is 12 right here. Okay, now the circle or the semicircle, we are going to use area equals 1/2 pi r squared. I almost said base times height. Okay, 1/2 pi, we're going to use 3. Okay, and I'm okay with using 3 for this one because we're not subtracting, we're adding. Okay, radius, remember this right here is diameter. Radius is going to be 1/2 of 6, so that's 3. Okay, 3 squared. I know that 3 squared means 3 times 3, so that is 9. And I know that 9 times 3 is going to be 27. Now all I have to do is divide 27 divided by 2. Let me do that over here. 27 divided by 2. 0 here, 7. That'll be 3, 6. Add a decimal and a 0. 13.5. So area is equal to 13.5 yards squared. That is this piece right here. Okay, this part of the semicircle, of the shape. What do we do with these two? We are going to add. So here, if I can find some space, 13.5 plus 12.0, 5 here, 3, 4, 5. So we get 25.5 yards squared. This is our final answer, 25.5. Okay, let's go to the next and last question. Okay, so this question here, the first thing you're going to have to do is find all the lengths. Make sure you know all the lengths. And the biggest thing is that the whole thing from this point to this is going to be 16. Okay, I know that the triangle is from here to here, okay, and that is 7 units, okay. I know that the rectangle, I'm trying to use this, the rectangle is from here to here, and that is going to be 3 because parallel sides say that this is going to be 3 here, okay. All right, now we have the last one, and the last one is saying that from here to here, we don't know what that is. We have to figure it out, right? But I know that these two added together is going to be 10, and I know that the whole thing, hello? There we go. I know that the whole thing is 16. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 16 minus 10, and that's going to give me 6. So this last remaining piece is 6. Now I know the base, or I know the height of the triangle, I know the base of the rectangle, and I know the base of the parallelogram. Okay, what I don't know yet, okay, is going to be if I know that this is 9, this is going to be 9 here, this is 9 here, and this is 9 here, okay? So 9, 9, 9. All right. Now I know the base of the triangle, the height of the rectangle. Okay. Now I can go ahead and continue my work. All right. So we're going to find the area of the triangle first. Okay. That is going to be I wanted to do the T-chart, but there's just not enough space for me to do that. Okay, so triangle, we're going to have to work with what we have. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Okay, base is 9, height is 7. Okay, 9 times 7 is 63. And then half of 63 is going to be 31.5 units squared. Okay, so in here, this is 31.5. Okay, now let's do the rectangle. That is area equals base times height, which is going to be 9 times 3, which is going to be 27. So this in here is 27. Okay, now we have the parallelogram. I'm going to actually erase this. Okay, so parallelogram is going to be the same thing as the rectangle, which is going to be area equals base times height. Okay, I know that the base is 6 and the height is 9. 9 times 6 is 54. So that means this is 54 here. Now what I do with all of these is I add them. So that's going to be 54.0 plus 27.0 plus 31.5. 5 here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we get 112.5 units squared. That is our final answer. All right. Go ahead and pause if you need to. I'm going to end the video here, and then I'm going to continue with the other review that I have done. Okay? Bye. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope this helps you, and good luck on that test, guys. Y'all can do this. Y'all have got this, all right? And tell me what's the funny thing when you get back in class.